$50,000. But there was a little problem. The denomination informed me that I couldn't take money out of my retirement account because I wasn't vested yet. I told them emphatically, I need the money. If this church fails, I'll retire from our denomination. There won't be any problem then because I can take my money out to settle the debt. I was determined to solve this problem, and I was all in. I visited the property almost every day as the warehouse was built and our space was finished. I envisioned thousands of people from the community coming to hear God's word and maybe even joining our church. Although at the time we were only 270 people, the process was moving along fairly well until I got a call that the contractor who had provided the lowest bid and whom I had hired over the owner's concerns about him left town with $60,000, leaving behind an unfinished space. I now had to re-raise that money too. I also became the general contractor, and in case you don't know me very well, I'll let you in on a secret. I have absolutely zero experience or expertise in construction. None. Zip. Nada. On work days, my dad used to let me read and study around our home because I was so bad with a hammer. I tried to get all the plumbers, electricians, and other contractors to work in tandem, but the more directions I offered, the more confused they all became. I was gumming up the works and slowing things down even more. This was in June with a huge delay staring me in the face, and the church was supposed to open in August. As days passed, my optimism eroded and even faint hope died as I realized I was a colossal failure as a contractor. Reality was incredibly difficult to take. One day I was so discouraged by the mounting problems that I sat in my office and thought, I'm done. What can I do so that I'll be fired from the ministry, but I won't lose my wife? Adultery? No, Becca would be gone. Drugs? No, I don't know anything about them. I'd probably overdose and die. After thinking long and hard, I came up with a brilliant plan. I was going to write down everything I didn't like about every person in the church, go to the liquor store and buy a bottle of vodka, get drunk for the first time in my life, and call all of them to tell them off. I was certain I'd get fired, but I'd keep Becca. When I got home that afternoon, Becca could tell I was really depressed. She had never seen me like this, and she knew the source of the problem. That evening, she secretly called everybody in the church who was supportive, even people on my list, and she asked them to meet at the warehouse the next night. She told them, Rob needs us to be there to tell him we believe in him. The next day was another disaster at the warehouse, but that night, Becca and I had scheduled a date. After dinner, she asked me to drive to the painfully unfinished warehouse. When we got there, I saw all the cars, and I got angry. I blurted out, "What's going on? What are all these people doing here at night? Are they vandalizing our building?" Becca looked at me and said gently, "Okay, make that firmly. Chill out, Rob." We walked in, and as soon as we went through the door, dozens of people cheered for me. Instantly, I broke down and cried. Person after person said things like, "We believe in you, Rob. We're with you. We'll get into this building before too long." One of them said, "You're a lousy contractor, but you're a really good pastor." He paused a second and then added, "No offense." No offense taken. I can live with that. It was a full year from the early morning when I drove my Jeep onto the grounds and waved down the guy driving the bulldozer until the day we opened the doors to the church and the warehouse. It was 2000, and our church was finally moving out of a school. No more early Sunday morning equipment setups and Sunday afternoon takedowns. I'm not sure who was more excited, me or all the people who had worked so tirelessly for the past 4 years when we met in a school. The warehouse was in a perfect location. To promote our grand opening, now pushed back to a Sunday in September, but finally set, I had a full-color trifold mailer designed and printed. We sent it out to 25,000 homes. We were ready, I thought. The final details of the build-out took longer than I thought, so timing was really tight, even with the delay. On the Thursday before the opening, the building inspector came to give us the final, official green light. After he looked at everything, he told me with a deadpan expression, "Your restrooms didn't pass. You can't open until they're fixed." I was incredulous. I shouldn't have been, but I was. I barked, "That can't be. We're opening on Sunday. I've sent out 25,000 pieces of mail to invite people to come this Sunday. We have to open. I have a mailer." He motioned for me to follow him into one of the restrooms. He showed me where the vent stopped above the ceiling instead of continuing all the way to outside of the building. I said, "Okay, we'll get it fixed so you can come back tomorrow and sign off on us." He shook his head, so I insisted, "You don't understand. We're